Good morning and welcome to Nigeria Now on your digital first brand African News Network TOS Television, the program which brings you major headline across and top national dailies here in Nigeria. As always, my name is Sagir Ibrahim and I have here with me in the studio the sub-editor here at TOS TV Network, Mr. Adebayo Fajimi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so let's get straight into it. So quite an unfortunate thing that happened yesterday and is captured across all headlines. We see from the Daily Independent newspaper the picture of the day, wreckage of vehicles and property caused by heavy downpour at Trademore Estate, Abuja on Monday. We see the same replicated on the Punch newspaper, 4 dead, 166 houses destroyed in Abuja Estate flood. Moving forward, we also see it replicated on the Daily Trust newspaper with the picture of the day, a vehicle somersaulted by flood at Trademore Estate in Abuja yesterday, as well as the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Some of the flood at Trademore Estate in Abuja, and we see pictures of the wreckage caused by the flood. So first of all, why do we see a flood of this multitude or of this magnitude happen in Abuja without having prior knowledge or what the Nigeria Meteorological Agency as well as the Nigeria Hydrological Agency do yearly, which is prediction of annual rainfall and potential flood in Abuja? Why do we have these agencies doing all of this, yet we see flood of this catastrophic nature causing havoc in cities as well as states?
Well, the agency has done what they are able to do, and I could remember really a couple of days ago, they gave us another forecast, which portend a very great danger for some regions in the nation. Well, what I think is responsible for this is poor planning and management, because I don't expect FCT as the nation's capital to be experiencing something like this. It is something, we ought to have overcome over time. But because you see government saying they have done this, they have done that, at the end of the day, you discover that what they say they have done, is still repeating itself, and it's on the other way side. So you see poor drainage, and you see people experiencing a pathetic situation as a result of erosion and all of that. So I think what is responsible for this is poor management and poor planning, in every situation. I think this is what is very, very responsible for this situation, and it is very, very sad.
Okay, so because I know I've been in various fora where people have complained that the Nigerian government take reactionary instead of precautionary approach. So now we've seen the level of damage this has done to both lives and property. So going forward, what do you think the government should do to ensure that this is not repeated?
Well, I think what our FCT administration needs to do is to be very proactive. We should not wait until we experience havoc or danger or pathetic situation, so to say. So they should be proactive in everything. We should put on our thinking cap, and we should not wait until people experience, a sad situation. So if we can, take this, and we take every precautionary measures, I think this is going to avert, subsequent experience.
All right. Okay, so moving forward to the Punch newspaper, we see on the front page and the banner headline where it stated, military onslaught in Zamfara, dislodged bandits flee southwards, gunmen strike in Kogi, Kaduna, Ekiti. We got intelligence report that bandits were coming to Ondo Forest. Amotekun Corps commander, terrorists invade Kogi prison, free 240 prisoners, kills 2 soldiers. Gunmen abduct 4 Ekiti travelers. So now we've been seeing the offensive, being played by the military this time to the bandits, and we've been hearing over time how they've been able to dislodge them from their major place of occupation, which is areas within the northwest in Zamfara, and towards Kaduna axis. But now we see them moving towards the south, as this headline has stated. So is there need for the government to continue with these onslaughts and chasing them towards this angle, or they need to take a more holistic approach to ensure that these bandits are just annihilated or executed once and for all?
Well, I think what government needs to do, especially our troop, is to be very strategic. And when I mean being strategic, they should be very proactive and, knowing, what the likely action is going to trigger. Because just like what happened in Zamfara, and we have had Gumi, and even before Gumi, a couple of governors in the northern part have said the way these bandits are operating, they are not majorly situated, in a particular place, that they operate between boundaries of states.
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you get now? So now, with this offensive, now they said, Gumi said that they have mapped out escape route, and that they are moving and spreading across states now. So now our troops need to be very strategic,
yes,
and they should know that for those bandits meeting their match day, it's not enough, and we should not think that we have won the war already.
Yes.
So we should take initiative and be very proactive, being strategic enough so that even while these people are moving, they are still meeting their match, and effectively or eventually, we win the war.
Okay, so I want to ask a follow-up. So, should we expect reprisals from the bandits being dislodged currently?
Of course, it is. There's no doubt about that. There should be. So that is why we need to be strategic and be well prepared, so that whatever things, it's just like, if these people are taking one step, we should be able to take 3-4 steps ahead of them to be able to contain, the menace.
Okay, so moving forward, we have another headline on the Daily Trust newspaper: how communication failure caused deadly attack on troops in Zamfara. Bandits kill 9 Navy soldier, 9 Navy soldier, 2 policemen. Telecom suspension costly, has no NSA clearance. That's according to a source. Criminals bypass communication ban. Army chief, 2 commanders: I won't take any excuse from you again. So I think this was the reprisals we were talking about. Now we have it on the Daily Trust front page, where it said how communication failure caused deadly attacks on troops. So obviously the bandits have started the offensive against the Nigerian troops. So the question I now want to ask is, following the ban on network service, provision in these areas where the onslaught was supposed to be carried out, do you think banning communication, for example, and network provision is the most effective step, towards ensuring a complete sweep of these bandits out of these areas that they are currently occupying?
Well, that is not only the solution. There are other ways that can aid, that can aid the effective fight against these banditry and insurgents. But it's one of the ways, right? But at the same time, we have seen, the porosity and the faulty aspect of, saying that we have seen what happened, despite the ban also. Yes. But, we need to also look at the porosity, of the porosity of each state boundaries, and, the way these people are migrating. So I think if we can also look at that, the boundary of each state, if it can be well, we have a great deal of forests, in Nigeria, that are not useful. They are not, we are not using them for anything. Why can't we cultivate these forests and make the most of them? Okay. If there is no hideout for any criminal to perpetrate any evil, of course, it will be very easy, for the troop or the security personnel, to arrest these people and to bring them to justice. But if there is hideout for them, they have all the way with that, to do whatever they want to do. Of course, there is no way we can do it. But at the same time, we cannot say that this is not that effective. But I just want to encourage, the Nigerian government, that whatever the situation is, that still tells us that something is still very wrong with our system. But I believe with the use of technology, honestly, I believe we can win this war effectively. Okay,
so talking about technology, as well as the ban on network service provision, don't you think banning network service, because if they could have the paraphernalia or the wherewithal to procure weapons, sophisticated weapons to carry out their dastardly acts, it shouldn't be difficult for them to procure, say, walkie-talkies as well, to continue in their communication. So yes, as much as I believe that banning the network service provision in the state is going to some extent, curtail communication between bandits and the likes, don't you think its disadvantage is more than its advantage, in the sense that people who might end up being victims of their reprisals in terms of being kidnapped, abducted for whatever reasons, might not even be able to communicate with their family members, and the bandits or the abductors might not be able to relate with the family members of the abductees to say, look, we have abducted so person, you need to pay so and so amount in form of ransom to get your family member or your loved one released. Don't you think this is only going to make the situation worse in this aspect?
Well, that's why we are clamoring for the deployment of technology to track these people. We have come of age to in a situation whereby if you make a phone call to somebody, there is a way you can track that person, even without that person being without the knowledge of that person. So I think government needs to look inward, but just like you have said, it's going to have a great effect on even innocent citizens. So government needs to, with all experts, they need to come together and sit and look into how they can track this, because I can't fathom why would somebody be kidnapped, and with the use of this same technology, phone calls, they will call the families of the abducted person and be negotiating ransom and all of that, and at the end of the day, we will not be able to get them. So this is so appalling in this present age. So Nigerian government should sit up and come up with a very strong approach in order to ensure that all this problem comes to an end.
All right, so the banner headline on the Daily Trust newspaper, the last rider there states, Army Chief to Commanders, I won't take any excuse from you again. And we see that replicated on this day newspaper, where on the front page and the banner it is written, Army Chief to War Commanders, I won't accept any more excuses over attacks. Says officers must take initiative, decisive action to defeat threats, maintains failure is failure irrespective of the circumstance. Yes, and on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, we see Kogi prison attack, gunmen kill policemen, soldier free 266 inmates, FG alerts Interpol. So now I don't know whether we should categorize this as one of the reprisals or the offshoot of the onslaught or the attack, the offensive against bandits. But however, we now have around 270 inmates who have been freed from the correctional facilities that they were being detained and are currently in the streets. What can be done to ensure that they are arrested? Because you spoke about deployment of technology, which is one thing we both agree has been a deficit in the Nigerian security system as well as in the Nigerian security architecture. So how do you think these people could be effectively rearrested? In a minute, please.
How they can be rearrested, we need to improve on our intelligence, and there is no way we can do that better without the use of technology we're talking about. Because how do you, with the current situation of our intelligence, how do you ensure that security personnel go out and capture these people? I'm not sure that can be really possible, so to say. But with the use of technology and being able to deploy this maximally, I think that will help us and ensure that even future occurrence will not happen.
All right. Okay. So on the Independent newspaper, we see gunmen attack Kogi prisons, kill policeman, soldier free 224 inmates. You could read this story as well as other stories by getting a copy of the various dailies that have been treated on Nigeria Now this morning. And by extension, that's it for Nigeria Now this morning. To be a part of the conversation, you can connect with us on our various social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TOSTV Network. You could also watch Nigeria Now via our website at www.tostvnetwork.com, as well as watch a recap of the program and other programs by TOSTV Network via our YouTube page at TOSTV Network. My name is Sagir Ibrahim, and thank you so much for watching.